Roll out this time. Quarterback keeping the ball, has some running room, picks up about 6, maybe even 7 yards that time for Kevin Zaper. I was getting there. I was pausing.
As we give it to you in stereo.
Hey, ESPN does their football games in stereo. Why can't we, right?
They also have instant replay.
Well, look, I just want to apologize to all the viewers. The chalkboard that CBS had lent us, and of course the videotape machine, the cold weather does affect it. We couldn't use it this evening.
We thought we were going to get to use the CBS chalkboard tonight. I was really looking forward to it, the old John Madden effect, but hey, you can't get those breaks all the time.
2nd and 1. A few of our press box members looking at us like we're crazy, and they might be right.
What do you mean the CBS chalkboard?
No, I don't think it was that. It was John Madden. I mean, other than Tony Koya, John Madden is, well, you know.
He's the announcer in the United States today. Of course, besides Tony Koya.
So it's pick up of the first down, make it 1st and 10. 10-16 left to go in this ball game. 16-7, the Norristown Eagles up. Ball on the 32, 3 men in the backfield for Tennant. Everybody pinched up on the line. I think this is Brian Milet, excuse me.
And this ball game not over by any stretch of the imagination. 16-7 the score. We've got almost 10 minutes left to go in the ball game.
Anything can happen.
If Tennant can mount a drive here, they're right back in it. As you said, Alan, anything can happen.
I'm so glad I said that too.
Well,
Zaper dropping back, has some time, has his man open, picked off. There it goes. Andy Town has it. And Town has some running room. He's trying to get around the sideline. It's going to be a foot race. Finally, he is pushed out of bounds by Bill Simons. Good play by Bill Simons, pushing Town out of bounds, or else it was 7 points.
Now, did you notice Andy Town wait for his blockers? Andy Town playing center field, picked that ball off, and once again, Zaper just hangs the ball deep. Andy Town looked around, said, okay, I've got 2 guys there who can block for me, waited for that blocking, and as you said, Bill Simons did a fantastic job. Simons, of course, a wide receiver, hawking down Andy Town, the same position, a wide receiver.
And Simons also plays a little DB, too.
That's right, exactly.
But it was interesting to note that, this is just another thing, both Zaper and Casano. Zaper, a sophomore, Casano, of course, a junior, both having problems going on those deep passes. A little more playing time, they're going to get that touch to get it over. I'll tell you, another 6 inches, and that ball was a completion. His man was wide open.
Van James hits the hole nicely that time, outran the defenders, and Mike Palladino put a crushing block on number 33, Tim Toland. My goodness, I'm glad the officials didn't see that. The play was a little bit over there. Mike Palladino flattened him. Woo!
Yeah, Tim will be feeling that one tomorrow morning. So it's going to be 2nd and 3, Jeff. 8.5 minutes to go here. They give it to Van James. Oh, he eludes a couple of tacklers. We have a flag thrown immediately.
I think we're going to see holding.
Yeah.
The way the official threw that flag right at the backfield, I'd have to say it's going to be holding.
No, face mask. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you knew it had to be one or the other. Either was something serious like that on the part of the defense.
Another big break for the Eagles. This is going to move the ball up. I'll tell you, they can ice this victory right here if they get into the pay dirt. Ball marked at around the 7-yard line for Norristown.
Jaquez Rochette that time.
He gets up to around the 5, pick up around 2 yards. So 5 yards to go to hit the end zone. 8 minutes to go here. Norristown up 16-7. Recap the scoring quickly for you. Norristown picking up a safety in the first quarter. Brooke Bug tackling the Tennant punter in the end zone. Second quarter, Norristown's Jaquez Rochette going in from 1 yard out on the left side, expanding their lead to 10-0. And, of course, then the final touchdown for the Eagles, Frank Cassano hitting
Van James.
Van James in the end zone. Oh, Cassano. He has some running room now. Throws the ball. And the Eagles receiver slipped that time.
Brian Murphy. That time, Frank Cassano did a great job eluding the tackler that time off the bootleg. I thought he was going to be sacked for a big loss. Then I thought he was going to run it in. Then he saw Andy Tennant and Brian Murphy in the end zone. I think he tried to hit Brian Murphy. And as you say, Brian Murphy slipped down, just couldn't get his hands on the ball. So what do we have? 3rd down and
5 still.
5, yeah, 3rd down and 5 for a touchdown for Norristown. And if they put 6 or 7 on the board here, Alan, I think William Tennant can kiss this ball game goodbye.
What do you say? A little pitch to Jack East, maybe? No.
I think I'd pass again. I think I'd go to Andy Town.
All right, they're dropping back. Plenty of time this time, and he finds an opening, but it closes up immediately.
Oh, what a play! I don't believe it.
He must have threw that ball falling down.
He was being tackled through the ball. Was that Van James again? That's right, Van James with another touchdown. Oh, what a play by Frank. I thought, oh no, there's a sack, blown opportunity, and he just lets the ball go. They didn't have his throwing arm tied up. Now in the NFL, he would have been in the grasp of the defender, and that would have been a null play.
Right. He would have already been considered down.
I'll tell you, what a play. And Van James with his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Magic man there, Castano. You never know what he's going to pull out of his hat.
Oh, that was a great play. Ronnie Minchis gets the kick up and make it 3 for Ron Minchis tonight, and the Eagles take a 23-7 lead. 23-7.
I mean, I already had the play dead.
Oh, what a play. I'm saying, oh, well, let's see if they're going to go for the field goal or not.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Frank Cassano, almost on his way to the ground, finds Van James for a touchdown. Oh, big play. We've got 7:23 left in the ball game, folks, and William Tennant will be hard-pressed to come back in this ball game. They're going to have to air the ball out, and from Zaper's previous showing tonight with the long pass, I don't think he's able to do it.
I don't like it.
2 years ago, who was Richmond?
It's my year.
Little delay here as Norristown
Changing kickers, I believe, here. I think that's Ken Roberts, I believe. Number 19, Ken Roberts is going to kick off for Norristown. That's
the official was counting to see how many players Norristown had on the field.
Short kick.
Oh, they lateral it back. Milett coming up with the ball. That was a good play.
Very interesting. Bill Simons said, okay, I'm going to take the catch, guys. Then he pitches it back to Milett, who's got his momentum coming forward. A good play because it worked. Dangerous play. You can drop that ball.
Especially when it's not planned.
And the Panthers did not want to fumble there by any stretch of the imagination. But they'll take over, what, 1st and 10 from the 37.
I would assume we're going to see an aerial show here. And Zaper has been getting pressured. Picked off. There you go.
Again.
Andy Town, his 2nd interception in the evening.
2nd interception of the quarter.
That's right.
My goodness. Now that I think seals the victory for Norristown.
Heck, Andy's caught more passes from their quarterback than he has from Frank tonight.
And I think that's it's so indicative of the lack of maturity that Zaper has. He's just not throwing good balls long. I think more than 8 or 10 yards, and he doesn't
have the
territory.
touch.
Yeah. Because Norristown's just been sitting back there and picking the ball off. I'll tell you. Well.
And that time they tried to neutralize the Norristown pass rush by taking a quick 2-step drop and boom, rifling the ball.
And I think Norristown will keep the ball on the ground and try and wind the clock down.
This is where Jacques Rochette is so devastating. They give it to Van James. No.
That's Dan Boyd, number 31. I think Coach Grove may be giving Jacques Rochette a little bit of a breather.
I'll tell you, Danny Boyd, 6'1", 185-pound sophomore, who Coach Roger Grove very, very high on. But I believe Boyd was sidelined earlier in the season due to some type of leg injury, so he hasn't seen too much playing time until recent weeks.
Also want to mention in there for Norristown, number 65, Art Bell on the offensive line. We haven't seen too much of Art this year, but he's in there.
So it's Rochette's the up man in the eye, and Boyd is the deep back.
That's right. Danny Boyd gets stacked up this time, but I think he's real close to the first down. In fact, I'm pretty sure he got it.
Okay, take it easy, guys.
No, we didn't do the game.
Yeah, we'll be here next week. You want to stop up?
Upper Marion did it. We can go over there and do it. Hey, take it easy, guys. See you later. Take care. Okay, hey, I'll shake it. Yeah, right. Oh, there you go. Jacques Rochette running room, and he is gone. Norristown
Touchdown.
steals it.
Oh, what a play, folks. No flags on the play. Jacques Rochette with a big, big run for the touchdown. And Norristown with their biggest offensive output of the year. Well, with 5:15 left to play in this ball game, Norristown has just put this game away lock, stock, and barrel. There's no way William Tennant's going to come back now. Make the score 29-7. This is the most points the Norristown fans have seen all year out of their team.
Oh, I guess this is a victory. You know,
I would put this one in the W column. I think that's a safe assumption.
before this game, I was saying to you before we got to the stadium that I think every game Norristown's played except one, as you pointed out, it's been 12, 13, 14 points. The offense has exploded here tonight.
Well, we were expecting a defensive battle, and I think it's been a good defensive showing by the Norristown club. William Tennant has just been devastated, though. I'm fairly certain this is the most points Norristown scored all year.
And the key here, I think, in the second half, we talked about the first half, Norristown with 4 turnovers, 3 times they lost the ball. Here in the second half, it has been Tennant turning the ball over twice on 2 costly interceptions, leading directly to Norristown scores, icing the win.
That's right. They've given the game away here in the fourth quarter. It was a close ball game. It was 16-7.
You know, when people wake up tomorrow morning and they'll read the newspapers, they'll say, oh, wow, the Eagles blew them out. But they don't realize how well Tennant has played until the latter stages of the contest.
That's right. Absolutely right.
And it looks like Tennant's woes are going to continue. They have a young team, but I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if next year they're right back in the hunt for the Suburban 1 crown.
Of course, they were co-champions last year. Were they champions outright? I'm not sure.
I believe they were co-champions one of the last 2 years and outright winners one of the others.
Okay, well, the Norristown Eagles were co-champions 2 years ago.
Maybe that was a year.
And I guess Tennant won it outright last year. Take a look at the crowd here, the band from Norristown High. As fans starting to filter out here at Roosevelt Field, it's a little bit chilly, and they think their Eagles have got this one locked up. So going home for the hot chocolate.
We're going to have another kicker here for Norristown this time. It's going to be number 3, Ron Mingus. Of course, he handles the point after attempts and the field goal opportunities. So we've used Andy Town, Ron, and who else?
Ken Roberts.
Ken Roberts. Interesting, I guess. What the heck? It must be tough if you're a kicker kicking an inflated ball that's hard to begin with on a cold night.
Yeah.
Must be like putting your foot into a brick wall.
I guess so.
But Ron uses a soccer-style delivery, so it must not be quite as bad as going toe first.
Milik
has some room if he can turn the corner fast enough.
Boy, he is a quick ball player, Alan.
He's your typical scat back. Good speed, very elusive, small, but he can really do you damage.
That was Mike Taylor who finally brought Milik down, but I'll tell you, he was quick going around that right side, no doubt about it.
Norristown marching band here still. 4:52 left to go here. Zaber keeping it, has some running room. He gets up to around the 44-yard line. Caught about a 6-yard gain. Up 7 yards, 2nd and 3. Zaper keeping it again easily, picks up the first down, still on his feet, finally brought down at the 30-yard line, and there's a fumble, and Norristown recovers. Jacques Rochette making the hit. So 3rd turnover this half, but at this point it's smooth.
No, there are no turnovers in high school football, though, are there? You never see a turnover in a high school game.
Oh, okay. You just told me a joke. I was wondering what. Tony Coyle warned me about you. Watch for the humor. Watch it. It always pours through toward the end of the game.
It's subtle. You can't take the subtle humor.
I'm sorry. I failed. This game being brought to you by the Norristown Area School District, who have done such a fine job. Of course, this is the 5th year we have brought you Norristown football. All started back in 1979 in Upper Marion's, when the Eagles, behind Steve Bono, upset the undefeated Vikings, ending a long losing streak. We've been with you ever since. Once again, we'll be bringing you another season of Norristown Hoops. Jeff, myself, along with Bill Werkheiser, who joined us last year, did a fantastic job. 3:53 left to go in this one. Norristown 30, William Tennant 7.
And Roger Grove is making mass substitutions, and I can't stand that.
It's good to see all these guys get a chance to play, but really, I'd rather do the game in silence the next 3 minutes.
Really, I mean, you know, these guys are underclassmen. Get them in the ball games. That's great. It's fantastic. Of course, you don't want to risk injuring your starters for the remaining 2 ball games. And I think it's great these guys are in, but we have to learn their names now, and that is really, really tough. John Delabino in there at quarterback, number 24.
I'm glad to see John get some time at the helm.
He hands off to number 32, if you hold that steadily,
Jim Hammond. Jim Hammond, 5'8", a senior running back. Hasn't seen too much playing time since earlier in the season. He originally this season started out spelling Jaquez Rochette in the backfield.
Okay, also in there on the offensive line, we've got number 52, Mike Kelly. Number 65, Art Bell, we mentioned earlier. Of course, Terry Kennedy still in there as starter. In at center, I believe, is number 51, Bill Musey. He has subbed for Joe Glisson this year at certain times.
Number 44, Forrest Davis, is your flanker at the moment.
Danny Boyd, the running back here with the ball, and he's got room. Could be, oh, Danny Boyd again slips. He's got to get those cleats sharpened or something.
I'll tell you, but did you see Danny Boyd run that time? I mean, Roger Grove's expecting big things out of him. High stepper when he runs. He's got that quick
Long
first
legs.
step.
Long legs. Good runner. Sees the holes well, obviously. First down from the 43-yard line. Norristown has the ball.
3 minutes exactly left here in the chilly Roosevelt Field.
And another quarterback now, number 23, Bill Livingston, a 10th grader in there at the helm. Livingston.
Well, these guys do such a great job at running Norristown's JV programs, which have always been so successful. And that's the whole reason Norristown's varsity is successful. They have a good feeder program.
All right, also in there, number 88, Brian Roquette.
And a cast of thousands. Danny Boyd limping off the field now. Number 22 coming into the contest, that is Keith Ellis, another running back. He is a junior, 5'10", 175 pounds.
I think I also see in there number 73, Warren Wellens on the line. Gonna have timeout. They took too much time they're trying to get that play off, shuttling the play in from the sideline. They just let the clock run down to 2:17. I think rather than take the penalty and the loss of down, Roger Grove...
I'd like to give these guys a chance to direct the offense.
Right, 2:17 left to go in the ball game. Eagles ahead 30-7, folks, and just an offensive explosion here in the second half with the turnovers committed by the Panthers of William Tennant. All right, now with the timeout on the field, why don't we recap what's happened earlier in the ball game, scoring-wise for Norristown. Norristown got on the board initially with a safety when Brooke Bugg sacked the punter late in the first quarter, gave them the 2-0 lead. Jaquez Rochette went over for the first touchdown. Then we had 2 passes to Van James for touchdowns.
An incredible play where it looked like Frank Asano was getting sacked. As he was going down, he unloaded the ball right before he took it on the chin. And
That's
literally.
right. Now we've got a penalty this time with all those new players in there. We've got Norristown committing illegal motion. All right, now back to the scoring, and then we had Jaquez Rochette with a 50-yard run for the last touchdown, and Ron Minges, let's not forget, 4 extra points tonight.
Yeah,
I think he's been
Mr.
almost
Automatic
perfect this year. He must have a fantastic percentage. That's the Norristown scoring for you. Tennant got on the board 1 time. They had 1 sustained drive, and that was it all night.
That's it. Norristown's done a good job once they got over those early turnover problems, where they had 4 of them in the first half. They put on a good show here this evening. And as we said to begin this ball game, go ahead.
The only scoring tonight for William Tennant was a 4-yard run by Brian Milet. Did you see that? Not exactly a pro pitch. What do you think?
It was different.
That was interesting. No, that was different though. Is that the balloon pitch? Is that a new play? I don't know.
That's Statue of Liberty lob. That's what it's called.
It was like a lob, like he was trying to dunk the ball. I don't know.
A lob. No. Comedy of errors continues. Here we go.
All right,
just
Bill
a minute and a half left.
Livingston goes to Hammond up the middle. We've got 1:20 left to go. 3rd and 24, that last play was. I think we're going to have a 4th down situation for the Eagles.
And just going back to an earlier point, we said in the pregame show, this is a big game because Norristown, coming off a loss, has to get their act together. They face a very, very good Abington squad next Friday here at Roosevelt Field, November 9th, 7:30 kickoff time. And then, of course, it's a week and a half off. And here comes Thanksgiving Day clash against Upper Marion.
November 22nd.
And that is the season. If Norristown's not going to win the conference championship, then they have to beat Upper Marion to make it a successful year.
That's right.
Easy
exactly.
as that.
Exactly.
And they're going to have a tough time.
And who's that back to punt, Al? Well, a short kick. And Norristown will down it. That was number 57 for Norristown?
I believe you're right. 57 is
Detweiler.
And his first name is not listed.
The invisible Detweiler. I don't know. We apologize for that. The program does not list the first name for number 57. But not exactly a stellar punt. And the clock's running down, folks. We've got 23 seconds left to go in the ball game. The Eagles ahead at 30-7. It's been quite an offensive performance for them. I also give a lot of credit to the Norristown defense. They've played a great ball game tonight. And we're going to have our last play of the ball game with 7 seconds to go. Zaper takes the quarterback pass, and he's going to be sacked by Theron Ellis. Fumble. And Theron Ellis gets the ball back on a fumble recovery for the final play of the ball game. Game is over, folks. Final score 30-7. And we're just going to stay on for just a moment here, recap the ball game for you. It's kind of chilly. We want to get out of here tonight, as I'm sure the rest of the fans here do. We'd like to thank Dave Finlater for doing our camera work tonight. Also Sam Galbraith for directing as well as doing the camera work in the second half.
Once again, though, we must point out Sam did not lend his warm insulated gloves to anyone here running camera.
But I guess that's the way it goes. Of course, out on the field, we've got the Norristown High Marching Band about to leave the premises. And out on the center of the field, the Norristown High players and the William Tennant players shaking hands at the end of the ball game. That's good to see. Norristown now 6-3 overall. 4-3 in the league, is that right? No, 4-2 in the league.
4-2. One of their losses came to Plymouth Whitemarsh, non-league.
Right. 4-2 in the league now. I guess if fate goes their way, they have a chance at the league championship. Probably not. They're in a good division. Usually takes
two losses at the most.
Two losses, you're out of it probably. Yeah. One loss, you can still win it. Usually a team goes undefeated. We don't know what it's going to shape up like this year. Norristown, though, very impressive tonight.
That's it. Exactly. As we said throughout, once they stopped turning the ball over, they finally got their act together.
They're terrors at home. They haven't lost at home this year.
It's been on the road. They've been awful at times. They've been so inconsistent.
They really do take a beating on the road. They had the turnovers tonight early in the ball game, but William Tennant compensated for that by having big turnovers of their own. Norristown defense played a great game.
Theron Ellis had an excellent game. He must have had a couple of individual sacks and also quite a few hurries. He was in the backfield with Tennant constantly. On the offensive side, also, by the way, defensively, we also overlooked the defensive backs. Andy Town, 2 interceptions. Luther Harling, another fine evening of play. On the offensive front, Van James, a very good, productive night. 2 scores and an excellent run where he picked up about 60-some yards.
That's right. Both of your backs, Rachette and James, your starting backs, had 2 touchdowns apiece. Ronnie Minges, 4 extra points. Safety for the Norristown defense tonight. All around fantastic performance. We'll see you next time when Norristown plays Abington High School. The Eagles looking to finish out their league season with a victory. Then, of course, we have Thanksgiving Day. We bring you that game on tape delay at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Once again, we'd like to thank Dave Finlater for the camera work, Sam Galbraith for his direction and camera work tonight, and, of course, the Norristown Area School District and Tony Coya, Director of Communications, for making this game possible for you. For Alan Riley, I'm Jeff Brandon. We'll see you next time.